There we go. Alright, guys. This is it. Time to begin the finale of... Well, I hesitate to call this the best game of all time, but it does have a plus 24 to its gameplay, a plus 32 to its story, a plus 19 to its music and sound, and a plus 17 to graphics. I figured this would be a good place to start, though, right here, with the letter from Sid, because if it wasn't for Sid and Palador, none of this would have happened. Depending on one interpretation, of course. Obviously, the other way, I think none of this would have happened if not for Sid, so no matter how you think of it, he's pretty involved in the process. I'd also just like to say this is among my favorite Last Dungeon terrains. Yes, that's right, I'm going to give another plus to the game before we even begun here. By the way, hey Shiryu, hey Junko. So, I know it's kind of hard to see, but here, we'll give kind of as good of a view as I'm going to get here. This is awesome terrain design because right here, there's just this spot where obviously the terrain has just been mixed and warped together, and this is as good as they could do with the SNES graphics, but it still gets across the point. In other words, this is just not just a tower that is sticking out amongst this. The idea here is that all this rock and grass and debris from the world being erupted is making into like a mountain, almost a pyramid kind of a situation, slowly building up until the peak of the tower itself. And I really love that visual element, and I think they do a good job of it here on the SNES, because it clearly gets across at least some implication of what I just mentioned, so we'll give that another point to graphics. And I would love in the full proper 3D awesome of this game that they make it look exactly like that it's just this massive edifice of this pseudo mountain debris chunk of tower. Because one of the other things I love about Kefka's Tower's design in the SNES and in lore is the fact that there is no design to it. It is literally just stuff mashed together. It also kind of explains why you need the airship to get in here. Damn it, Jonga. This cutscene is pretty different if you don't have all these people. Especially, you know, well, yeah, Terra being the big one. Hey, Deacon. Now, not that I'm aware, Deacon, why? Okay. This section's pretty awesome. If you get everyone... Oh, excuse me, you need to leave 2 people behind. There's no bypassing that. You have to leave 2 people behind. So, we're gonna go ahead and bring a couple of people I don't normally bring, like Shadow. And the other person I usually tend to leave behind is actually Gao. So we'll bring both of those in place of people we otherwise normally wouldn't bring, which in this case would probably be Gogo and Umaro. Now, this gets across clearly. You notice there's no tutorial. It's just here's 3 parties, and it just says make 3 groups up there. So even if you have no idea how to deal, if you're not sure what's going on, it's pretty clear what's going to be happening here. So let's get our 3 parties together. Now, Party 3 does or is it Party 2 or Party 3? Shoot, I sound like or is it Party 1? Damn it, I wish I had access to my notes. One of these 3 parties does the most walking, has the most distance. One of these 3 parties fights the most bosses. And I don't remember which is which. Whichever one does the most walking, I usually give Mog. For obvious reasons. I don't remember which is which, though. So, whatever. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to kind of be stacking our mage heavies. And by stacking, I mean making sure that we have at least 1 mage heavy in each group. So that means you need to be over here. We'll make make a melee there. A lot of the strategy of this game comes into figuring out these three parties. It's kind of funny, whether or not this is a plus or a minus. Depends on your perspective, because in normal RPGs, you know, you have to spend some time gearing up your party, you know, like your party of 3 or 4 or 5, depending on which game you're playing. In FF6, you don't have to, but the intention is for you to gear up 12 party members. At the same time, one of the interesting things is the fact that it's not that hard to gear up 12 party members. I mean, you can't max 12 party members, but there's a lot of possibility to get, you know, there's best in slot, then there's second best, and the third best, and the fourth best. And all of those are relatively easy to get in the World of Ruin. I talked about how treasure just kind of flows in the World of Ruin. So you do have a lot of equipment to go around in the World of Ruin in order to spread out amongst these 12 people. Let's go and put Edgar here. I already got a melee over there, so let's put the melee there. And I just realized Realm actually needs to be over here. Yeah, well, no. Hang on. Hey, Javan. Hey, Pandemonium. And hey, Deutsch. And hey, Kay. And hey, Joe. I'm actually thinking about this a bit because I'm not really that optimized, and I don't have my notes in front of me like I normally would. So I decided, who am I leaving behind? Oh, I'm leaving Gogo behind, that's right, so get out of the party, Gogo. Alright, Sabin, she'll go here. And I guess we'll do this. Okay, so we've got mage, 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 melee, 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 and then... Okay, yeah, this should work. This should work. I did a little bit of pushing some spells off camera, and I also happen to get an economizer, so that'll be nice. I thought about getting a second gem box with it, but I only have the one economizer. So here we are, Kefka's Tower. This gets another plus to graphics and sound. Sorry, it just does. Nah, I know what you're thinking. Arsh, you've been explaining all your pluses. Why not explain this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, sure, we'll just do this. Just make that clear. There we go. Alright, here's my explanation. First of all, this is partially a unique tile set, and it's a really good tile set. As I already said, it really gets across the feeling of this place just being a mesh. Just a random conglomeration of stuff, of debris, of garbage just shoved together with no intent towards artistry, or towards design, or towards anything, really. It's just, here's where I'm going to be. Actually, I like that idea, Pandemonium. So the graphics of this place are great. They've got the spotlights, the searchlights there, which just really help make you feel like this is just some kind of bizarre technological pseudo-alien world. There's the darkened sky in the background. The dungeon has some great and brilliant design to it. I'll get to that in a moment. And the music is fantastic. This is one of my favorite last dungeon songs ever, because it's a weird mix of all the things that Kefka's song actually has a mix of in it, if you think about it. It's got that military, you know, it's got that military tint to it, and it's also got that sense of dread, and it's also got that sense of the epicness, the idea that, you know, and again, the very thing that a last boss, or excuse me, a last dungeon song should include, which is, this is it. In my opinion, every last dungeon song should, in some way or another, include the "this is it" mentality. Okay, so now we've got to be a little careful with how we equip everyone, because we've got 12 people to equip. Hey, Omni, by the way. What's up? And hey, Shadow. Okay, so we're going to turn Setzer into our death machine, so we'll do this really quick. He won't be equipped with that for very long, so let's give him the cards right now. Actually, let's go and give him... Oh, he doesn't even have them. We'll give him the Force Shield, but not the armor. We don't want him with the Genji stuff, so we'll give him the Crystal stuff instead. And then... actually, let me think about this. I want him to be the economizer gem box guy, so that's easy. He's my best mage. Locke, how many Genji gloves do I have? You'll forgive me, I gotta think about this a little bit. Like I said, I have not bothered to 100% or even 90% this, and I don't have my notes in front of me, so I don't remember the exact best method to spread out everyone. Where am I? There they are. I have 3 Genji gloves. Perfect. It's okay, Shadow. Okay, so we will give you the sniper sight and the hyper wrist. Again, I don't want you with the Genji gear, so we'll give you the red cap and the diamond vest. And the Aegis, and I actually want you to have that. Hey, Benath. Benath? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. You will get a Atlas armlet. Oh yeah, I got a merit award too, check it out. It basically allows you to equip anything, that's what it does. I already mentioned that Atlas armlet. And we'll make you the sprint shoes guy for this party. Cyan, of course, will get a hyper... Well, that actually doesn't help him. He'll get another Atlas armlet. Actually, that... Ooh. Why don't we do this and this, because Lord knows he needs it. And again, I don't want you with the Genji stuff. So we'll give you that, armlet, and mithril mail. Stop putting on the Genji element gear. Okay. Gotcha. So which do you prefer then? Benath? Benath? Baineth? Help me out, man. I gotta have something in my mind or else I'll never pronounce it ever. If correctly, am I right? Ask Brother Box how many times I called him Brother Ox, to give you an example of that. Good, Joe Neutrino. That is a good thing. It should be, hopefully, maybe, kind of. Alright, so he doesn't need anything, so we'll go ahead and leave him off things. We'll put this on you. You aren't super high important, so we'll put Ifrit on you. We'll give you... that's a good one, actually. We'll give you Bahamut. You need it. And you... honestly, you really should probably have Tritalk, so we'll give you... where is it? Or is Tritalk the only one that does it? I thought there was another one. Tritalk is the only one. That's good. Okay, we'll call you Tim from now on then. I'll try to remember that. Okay, one party setup. This party's the easiest to set up. You ready for this? Alright, party setup. Kafka's Tower. Loot. Okay, I'm done. Some of the enemy encounters in Kefka's Tower are just plain mean, but at no point did I ever find myself being frustrated by them, so I will have to give that as a plus to the overall design of the game. Okay, so you get one of the Genji gloves and one of the Atlas armlets, if I can find them. Don't tell me I only have one Atlas armlet. I think I only have one Atlas armlet. Wow, okay, and you will give that. And I want you on Torado, I think? Yep. And I want you on Raiden. Well, what's up, Tim? His basic stats don't matter, like, at all. Because he's going to be doing nothing but tooling this entire time, so we're going to set him up a little bit differently if I can find the right item. Looks like I might not have it, actually. Yeah, we'll do that. Yes, we'll leave him with some good armor. Again, his stats don't actually matter that much, so we're going to go ahead and give him some less than good gear. Like that, actually. Oh, okay, I recognize you, Tim. That's going to take me forever to get used to. I'm just calling you Benath, is that okay? Is that acceptable? Especially when I'm in the middle of running through and I'm like, eh? Either way, welcome to the stream. Feel free to be like, hey, and yo, and otherwise interact with us. I like to chat with my viewers, and my viewers like to chat with each other, so it's all awesome. Excuse me. Okay, so I need sprint shoes on him. I also want to get the... Wait, no, this is the mod party. I don't need sprint shoes on him. What am I doing? Why don't we give you the beads and nothing, because you're kind of useless. Sure. Ah, now you definitely get a hero ring. Yeah. And running shoes. He's easy. Running shoes, hero ring, bamf. That's pretty much always my Edgar setup. Like, in everything ever. You need to go in the macro. Okay. Espers don't matter too much here since I did some magicking off camera. So we'll give you Stray. You already have Tirado. You have already Vriden. You don't matter. So you don't even get an Esper. Shadow does not get an Esper. He doesn't need an Esper. And we'll go ahead and set up the third party while we're thinking about it. Okay, you get the other Genji Glove. And the Hyperist. And the Minerva, yes, that's where I want the Minerva to be. And we're just gonna equal out the rest of them there. I want you to have earrings. Do I have earrings? Yes, I do. There we go. Earrings, perfect. I also want you to have earrings. And I think, yep, I have the gold hairpin right there. And you get... Oh, I'd do so much with that Pandemonium. That's a big question. I would make it a multi-phase fight, kind of like Sephiroth was in Kingdom Hearts 1. But it would start out with him casting spells that are incredibly hard to dodge. Some would home in on you. Some would just literally go around randomly. Some of them would cause terrain damage, for lack of a better term. And then as the fight goes on, he would destroy more and more of whatever the arena is you're in. And so debris would just be knocked around as you're doing the fight. And so there's just chunks of stuff all over the place, which makes it harder to move around, because they actually have collision, right? So you're like, I gotta go through here, trying to dodge while it's harder and harder to move around, right? That's like the second phase. The third phase activates when he gets really, really pissed off, and he like he starts picking up chunks of the debris and makes this massive tower thing, and kind of starts using that to blast the terrain with the Light of Judgment, which is either, I'm not sure if I'd make it dodgeable at all. I'm really torn on that, but it would definitely be something very, very difficult to counter one way or the other. And then the final time he would just start unleash, like his final phase, his fourth phase, he would basically be a DPS race. In other words, you need to kill him in like 20 seconds, or he is just plain going to kill you, because he just starts unleashing raw magical power on like the entire arena. No possibility of dodging it, no possibility of surviving it forever. You just have to kill him before he kills you. And that's probably, and this is just literally off the top of my head, but that's probably the idea of how I would do it. Okay, so you need stuff that I don't think I have. Yeah, looks like I actually don't have it. Okay, whatever. You'll get the ribbon, and you'll be our sprint shoes person. And it looks like that's it. And we do need to set you up a little bit, because you're still learning stuff, aren't you? Yes, you are. There it is. Knew it was there somewhere. And you, I want on... I don't think I actually have... Oh, there it is. And you don't actually matter that much. You know everything already. Sure. Yeah, this is FF6, by the way. Sorry. Okay. I think all three of our parties are set up. So, we're going to go into a save state. Like I said, we're actually going to be going ahead and fighting all of the optional bosses. A huge amount of the... Well, I shouldn't say huge. 1, 2, 3, 4, I want to say, of the bosses in Kefka's Tower are optional. This is one of them. This is the upgrade to Atma weapon, which is actually called Atma in the original English and is referred to as Omega weapon. In other words, this is the second Omega weapon in the history of the franchise. So, yay! He's a lot meaner than Atma in several respects, but at the same time is actually a lot easier than Atma weapon is. Mainly because by this point in time we are way stronger than we were back then. So we're gonna go ahead. Oh, I got the air anchor too. Oh, of course I did. Let's see for you. Wait, does he not? Oh shoot. Okay. Oh my god, I just healed him for a lot. Yeah, FF10 is usually what I suggest to start the series. And the Gradius? What kind of damage does the Gradius do? I mean, whatever. Fire 3 instead, I guess. 9 is also a good starting point. Again, I'm always hesitant to say you should start with 1 or you should start with 4 because both of them have flaws to them, for lack of a better term, that aren't really the best way to introduce yourself to the series, especially if you're, not sure if you like this type of game. So that's why I don't usually recommend those. I mean, my first was 1, but I have basically never recommended anyone start with 1, Yes, 10 is the one with the laugh. It's just one scene. I've actually analyzed it and pointed out why it's not actually a bad scene. Where Tidus pretends he's a dolphin. Well, Shiryu, my reasoning, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on this or not, is basically, let's say someone has never played a JRPG before at all, and they really want to get into the FF series because they love the stories, or, whatever, or their friends like it, or they've seen me play it. Lord knows I've had plenty of people say that. And so they're like, alright, let's play it. FF1, even on the GBA version, which really does improve the game tremendously, but even on the GBA version, is a pretty unforgiving game in many respects, and has a lot of irritation features to it, for lack of a better term. Most notably, the encounter rate, which is through the damned roof. Might actually be the highest encounter rate of any game I've ever played ever in Final Fantasy 1. I mean that sincerely, by the way. And so it's like, ugh. By the way, you get some really good gear in this place, Kefka's Tower. I've already talked about that. FF6, like many FFs, is a game that's basically built for New Game Plusing, in my opinion. There's another Force Shield and another Force Armor, which I'm actually going to equip on Mog, and by Mog I mean... So, I don't know if Javan's in the chat, but Javan, you just took down Omega Weapon with no equipment on! Let's let's fix that, huh? Let's give you the Force Shield. We'll put the Force Armor on someone else. Probably her, actually. And then we can put the Genji Armor. Oh, he can't wear Genji Armor. Ooh, okay. Who can wear... Okay, here, we'll put the Force Armor on him. There we go. Lord knows Edgar needs to live through everything because, it's Edgar. Actually, that's a good idea. We'll take the Force Shield off of Javan. Sorry, Javan. We're going to give that to Edgar. And then we'll give you the Genji Shield, which kind of fits you better anyways. Hey, Valscrew. What's up? Okay, so... Yes, I'm going the right way. By going over here. Come on. There we go. Now, another, I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm going to give another gameplay plus to this game because of the last dungeon. This is a brilliantly designed dungeon. There's a lot of interesting puzzles, there's switches. The 3 party members have to interact with each other in order to push through the dungeon. There's a lot of variety. There's a lot of different types of enemies you can fight. The bosses are interesting and kind of cool, and a lot of them have different types of tricks to them. There's ways to backtrack, there's ways to get lost, there's ways to hit dead ends. There's a lot of really, really, really good gear in here. I think for all these reasons, and again, I'm trying to explain each plus I put up there, I think for all these reasons, the last dungeon by itself deserves another plus to the counter. This is among my favorite last dungeons in gaming history. Ironically, FF4 is another one that's pretty high up there. Okay, so he eats lightning, got it. Whoops, didn't mean to blow attack star on him. Yes, Omni, there have been negatives. I have been taking away pluses. Obviously, we've never actually hit the negatives because there's just been so many positives, they've been overwhelming the negatives. But yes, I have actually been taking away positives as we've been going through. I actually took away 2 at one point in time. There we go. One dragon left. I just realized he needs to actually have Ragnarok equipped because he doesn't have Ultima yet. And yes, you get a lightsaber in this game. Let me say that again in case you missed it. You get a frickin' lightsaber in this game. What's your confession, Omni? Is it the fact that you secretly hate Halo? It's okay. You're among friends here. Unless Preacher shows up, in which case you're just screwed. Preacher isn't going to deal with that. Alright. So yeah, let's start encountering some of the interesting enemies we have here. There we go. Yep, okay. This is another one of the unique guys. This guy is actually several enemies. You notice I'm using AoEs here. It's because there's several of him. And they layer on top of, so you don't really know how many there are, and because there's no number, you don't actually know which one is, or how many are left. So it's just kind of a cool little thing. Again, just another thing they did here. Let's see, so... Whoop, we won. Yay, we won! Damn it, Omni. You will never be forgiven for this. So yeah, I mentioned there's behemoths in 2 parts of the game. One is in the floating continent, the other is here. The behemoths here are kind of mean. Let's see, so... Oh, no, I screwed that up. It's left, up. Left, up, right. Left, up. Right, down. Yeah, there we go. I think that's right. Left, up, right, down. I think. It's actually been a while since I've really done Bum Rush. I'm trying to remember how to do it. In the older days, I would just do the whole circle, because, you know, duh, right? Oh yeah, by the way, Marlboros are here too, and they suck. God, they suck. Yeah, if you want to showcase some story stuff, we actually have a specific section of the forum just for people to showcase. Damn it, Kay, I hate you. Just to showcase written works and whatnot, if you want to share them. So definitely go ahead and post it up there, and that would be awesome. Why don't we give you? Actually, no, I really need someone with a hero ring, or with a ribbon. Scimitar Man-Eater. Yeah, that's right, because I haven't gotten that yet. Thank you, Deutsch. You, as ever, are awesome on the thing. So, this feels weird. So much of Kefka's Tower just speaks for itself. I feel like I don't have anything to share here. I mean, it's this hodgepodge amalgamation of all the debris of the world. Literally, Kefka's Tower is a physical manifestation of Kefka himself. Literally. So, you know, I feel like I don't have anything else to say here. It's like, yep, here's the physical manifestation of Kefka. He's this, a random, artificial, chaotic hodgepodge of all the garbage and debris of the entire world. You know? Scullions aren't worth fighting usually, that's why I'm just running. I don't know, Darth Pandemonium. I'm one of those people who thinks it could be a good thing, although I do have to add the could be part of that because, you know, I don't know if it will be good or not. There we go. I think that's the biggest catch for me. We don't know if it's a good thing or not if Disney puts Kingdom Hearts and Star Wars together. So it's a risk, and therefore it's the possibility of it going, you know, all sideways. No? Okay. Figure out how to do that. Oh, I know why that didn't work. Right down. Maybe? We'll try that. Yeah, see, that's exactly right, Krenzer. Star Wars could fit very, very well in Kingdom Hearts. The two have so many significant thematic and character similarities that, hell yes. But if they do it wrong, it'll actively be bad, you know what I mean? It won't just be not good, it will be bad, and that will taint both Kingdom Hearts and Star Wars, respectively, as a result of that. Yeah, we'll just do it that way. There, yeah, Bomb Rush! I just did the whole circle that time, screw it. I have a good success rate with that. Oh, don't you dare, Django. The Sun... We do not speak of the Sun Crusher here, okay? So anyone want to hear something totally unrelated to anything while I'm pushing through the tower? Anyone? Marvel wouldn't fit nearly as well in Kingdom Hearts. There's not a lot of significant parallels between the two, you know? As opposed to Star Wars, which has a lot of parallels to Kingdom Hearts. So, I would say definitely no to Marvel. So here's the unrelated anything thing. My wonderful sister got me a birthday present, which is this stuffed Leafeon. For those of you who know who and what that is. And for those of you who don't know, Leafeon is actually my second, or among my favorites, but it's basically my second favorite Pokemon ever. And it's this adorable thing. And it's sitting right here. It's right here, sitting next to my laptop. It's this cute little guy. He's got the leaf tail. It's really cool looking. I wish I had the webcam to show you. When I get the webcam working again, I'll show him off. Excuse me, show her off. That is a female Leafeon. But yeah. Yeah, she was at a convention and was like, you know... It was last month, Omni. It's been a bit now. Yeah, Leafeon is a grass type Eevee. So confession time. I do have something to talk about here, finally. Oh, whatever, Omni. I'm 33. There. I'm just gonna say it. I have danced around the issue for forever because of reasons I'm not going to go into right now. Hell, I actually could go into those reasons. I'm on the internet, so of course I try to lie about my age and about my reality because I don't want people to know where I actually live because that's a genuine danger when you're actually on the internet. But anyway, so what we have here is a wonderful little situation in which I was completely screwed up the last time the first time I played this game, okay? When I first played this game, I hadn't done a lot of the optional stuff and didn't fully understand how a lot of the game worked. So when I first played this game, I got to this point and I was basically pushing through the last dungeon, just barely, and I could not beat the boss that I'm about to fight, the Inferno or whatever. Here's why. I had learned all the spells I had access to on every character. I mean, I had Bolt 2 and Fire 2, and I had Cure 2 on everyone. And I just couldn't beat this guy. I didn't even know there were 3s. I didn't even know that there were things like Ultima or really good equipment or the offering. I knew none of that. So I came here basically with all the espers I had from the world of balance, plus like 3, and that's it. That's all I had. So yeah, I was having the most hellacious time getting through this tower, and this is the wall. I hit this boss right here, and could not actually defeat the Inferno boss. Feel free to make fun of me. It's okay. I deserve it. Whoops. There we go. Thank you, Omni. That makes me feel better. It's okay, because I still have Canada Dry. That makes it all better. Well, in this case, the brick wall was artificial because it was me screwing up Shadow. That's why I am allowing. Oh wow. Myself to be made fun of here because yeah, I'm just an idiot. Hey, Flawless. What's up? Now, there are actually legitimate walls in a lot of RPGs. I've already told you what the actual legitimate, intended wall is in Final Fantasy VI. It's the floating continent and Atma weapon, respectively. So, yeah. You're right, Kay. I'm sorry. I'm a moron and a fool, and I don't know how to get jiggy with it because I cannot dance. Yeah, I don't like grind walls. I never have liked grind walls. Gear walls I'm a little okay with, but grind walls, no. Yeah. Just trying to remember. There. Damn it, I felt like I screwed that one up. Of course, Shadow. I am pretty young. I'll feel it, but I am it. As my sister says, I look older than I am, and I am older than I am. Because of all the crap I've been through, Let's see. Are you talking about when you fight him at the end, Pandemonium? Or are you talking about when you fight him when he's Riku, basically? No. Oh, gotcha, Omni. I'm trying to think what the first wall was in my RPG career, because like I said, FF1 was my first, or FF1 or Dragon Quest, depending on which one you define it as, was my first RPG. And I know you're like, what do you mean by what do you depend on how you define it as? Well, honestly, I don't actually remember which one I played before the other. I remember both very distinctly. I just don't remember which one I played first. I don't feel like fighting these guys. Hey Will, what's up? Well, in Dragon Quest, I can tell you exactly where the first wall I ever encountered was. It's when you first start fighting skeletons as standard enemies. I don't remember where that is in the game, but I remember it was skeletons, and I remember they sucked. In FF1, the wall was when I hit Tiamat for the very first time in the floating castle. By the way, I love the fact that, after all these years and all these things that have happened across everything forever, all the way back in FF1, Square already had a thing for floating castles. Something about that just amuses me. Why don't we go down the list? Okay, so those were my walls in those games. Feel free to share with me on this. Hey, Macon. In FF2, what was my first wall that didn't involve bad game design in FF2? I can see that, Kay. I'm thinking, I'm trying to stick just to RPGs, though, because there's plenty of walls in other games. How are we at on mana? Yeah, we're fine. The Twitch partnership still is not a thing, and probably will not be a thing for some time, to be completely blunt. And what I need to get it is either politics or Twitch to stop having a giant stick up their bum, or more viewers. Basically, they keep looking at me saying, no, you're too small time, you're too small time, you're too small time, blah, 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 blah. You know, every time I do a major marathon, I hit about an average of 300 consecutive viewers across the marathon. Sometimes it goes above that, sometimes it goes below that. That's not enough for them. Their minimum is 500. So, yeah. That's why that's a thing. Anyways, let's see, FF2. My first legitimate wall in FF2 was actually, I think, the Behemoth, which is a decent ways into the game. I know, Deutsch, I know. Yeah, whatever. And then we have defeated all 8 dragons, and we get the best spell ever. And by spell, I mean Esper. Go for it, Benoth. So this is Crusader, also known as, I think, Holy War, or something like that in the translation. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is the Crusader. It's actually a multiple Esper. It teaches Murton and Meteor, and gives a huge bonus to MP when you get it, which I actually want on you. Did you learn? Where's Phoenix? He hasn't learned Life 3, but who cares? He needs that. He needs that MP bonus, so he's gonna go and get that. Man, we're not even gonna talk about YouTube's copyright system. And I haven't tried YouTube gaming yet. I still plan to poke at it myself to see for myself. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about Crusader really quick. We're gonna save state. Hang on. Okay, here we go. We're gonna save state here. Don't worry, I've got a reasoning for this. Come on. This is what Crusader looks like and does. Purifier, or Holy War, or whatever the hell they call it. So this is the prototype of Knights of the Round. 3 guys show up and just blast the crap out of everything. And when I say everything, I do mean everything, as you can see. So we're gonna reload now. And yeah, so I love the wonderfully appropriate nature of that. In other words, the Crusader from the, and it is specifically referring to the Crusades, by the way. Let's not get too much into the religious discussion here, but it is talking about that. Crusader is specifically referencing that, and it hurts you as well as the enemy. Make sense? But in addition to that, I love it because it's got some lore implications to it as well. So, for example, before I really go into my theories on it, who is okay? The Locke. Hang on, what's Locke have equipped? Okay, that's what I thought. Crusader is presented as a single magicite, and yet it appears to be multiple creatures. So, basically what I'm asking is, in your opinion, in your perspective, what do you think is going on with that? You know, why? By the way, in case you don't understand why the Economizer is amazing, I'm going to cast Ultima twice for 2 MP. So, yeah, that's why the Economizer is amazing. And he's going to be dispatching for everything he does. There we go. Personally, I do have my own theories on it, as you might imagine, because it's me, and I tend to think about this kind of stuff way too much. I think Crusader is a similar situation to what happened with my theory about Rexol. In other words, the idea that there were several Espers who were simply way over the top. I mean, we're talking like the Kefkas of Espers, or actually that's a bad example, the Luca Blights of Espers, if you know what I mean by that. You know, these people were just messed up and had issues, and hey, Urs Gaming, what's up? So they were deliberately sealed away on purpose, you know, in order to ensure that at no point in time they could come out, because they were so damaging to everyone. Even the Magi couldn't control the Crusaders, right? You with me? And so when they were sealed away for a millennia, for lack of a better way to put it, their souls merged. Literally just kind of morphed and warped into a singular soul until what we had when they were finally released. Obviously they were dead because they've been sealed away and locked away for absolutely forever. But when they released, they came out in the form of Magicite, a single piece of Magicite which contained the combined soul of all the Crusaders. Make sense? That's my take on it. Since we know that Magicite is basically contains the soul, and to an extent the memory and thoughts and whatnot, a degree of sentience of the original being. Yeah. God, I love Ultima. Sorry, I do. It's just such a cool spell. Bam! It's so funny to me that such a SNES graphic spell can look like it has impact. Chrono Trigger does that a lot too. In fact, you know what? I have not given a plus to the graphics for the spell design in this game. I'm just going to give it 1. But this is for like all the spell designs across FF6, and there's a lot of good ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, that's 10. And I have demonstrated several of these across the game. In fact, I've gone out of my way to do so many, many, many times. So I've already given my work on that. Now this right here, fixed dice, is actually part of the best damaging combo in the entire game, and I'm not kidding when I say this. What you do is you get Setzer equipped. Here, we're gonna go and give him the fixed dice right now, even though he's my main mage. He can be the best damager in the entire game. I'm not even kidding about this. You get him set up with the fixed. You get him a Genji glove in the offering, and you equip him with the fixed dice and the dice. He will fling the dice 8 times, the fixed dice 4 and the regular dice 4. Now this is very RNG dependent, but dice and fixed dice both ignore the damage reduction of offering. So in other words, under the right circumstances, you could do 40,000 damage with 4 attacks, or actually not 40,000, excuse me, like 30,000 damage with 4 attacks, as opposed to closer to, I guess that would be about 15,000 damage, which is what a normal person with just a best in slot weapon would do. So that's the combo for getting Setzer to be turned into an unholy death machine. For anybody who's ever curious about that. Here, I'll demonstrate once. I'll go ahead and have him do a throw out the dice and see what kind of damage he does. That's not good. For those of you not curious, the dice basically has a cap on the kind of damage it can do, despite the RNG nature of it, and the fixed dice does not. That's really the difference between the two. The fixed dice can hit for quad 9. The dice cannot. Java, that's another excellent theory, and actually I've heard that theory many, many times. In fact, when I was younger, and when I was playing this with Vincent and Joel, that was exactly the theory that we had, was that Crusader was a artificial Magicite, not an Esper, a Magicite, that would explain the discrepancies. So this is probably my most powerful party now that I'm thinking about this. I've got infinite magic, I've got sword tech, I've got cat scratch, and I've got a back row attacker who is fast. So, yeah. Also, this is really off topic, and I don't like talking about politics too much, at least not modern politics, but I just like to say that I, for one, get a little bit tired of everything being called blank gate because of Watergate. It's just a little thing, just gets on my nerves. You know, this gate and that gate, it's like, Nice touch, the tubes are now shattered in here. In other words, they weren't shattered originally, so they went out of the way to actually give the shattered tube graphic here rather than just copy-pasting the original graphic. This is also the funniest party for me to play as because I can literally just hold down A. There's nothing to do on this party other than hold down A because they're pretty much set up. Yay, Cyan learned stuff. Hey, it's older politics. The older, the more tolerable. That's how that tends to work. Why did you learn? Oh, that's why. Okay, that's why. We don't talk about that here, Javan. That's actually a blocked topic on my show, and I'm not kidding when I say that. Ooh, okay, so you see these guys? If I'm not mistaken, I could be. This is the graphic that was supposed to be used for the Kaiser Dragon. These guys cast Fallen 1. That reduces your health to 1, if you're curious what it does. Wow, they're not dead yet. Oh, oh god, oh god. Well, I just gamed over. Game overed. Oh my god, I didn't game over. Okay, okay, hang on. Recovery time! Oh, jeez. Okay, okay, hang on. No! Ah, damn it! So, hey, Nothrazim, yeah, an X is 10 pluses. Hang on, I was further on this way, pretty sure. Was I? Yeah, I was, because, yeah, okay, so... Wow, I just lost a lot of progress. I just died, because I wasn't paying attention during a Fallen 1. So some people used to really be like, oh my god, Kefka's so difficult because he casts Fallen 1. The funny thing is, Kefka is actually really easy to bypass because he only casts Fallen 1, like, he has a slow AI cycle, basically, so he'll cast Fallen 1 and then he'll just move on. When you encounter 2 Doom Dragons, both of whom can cast Fallen 1 and other spells as well, you're in a lot greater danger. So I have now showcased what is actually the hardest enemy in the game. Yay! I gotta go do all this all over again. Okay, let's set these guys back up here. Stray Cat. Ultima. There it is. Doomsday. It doesn't look as cool as it should, in my opinion, Kay. I mean, it's not exactly a bad spell, and in fact, FF9 actually has my favorite spell graphics of, like, any game ever. But, Doomsday has always been just kind of a little bit, for me. Or do you mean tactically? Because tactically it's the exact same as Murton. I haven't talked about Murton yet. So Murton and Crusader both do the same thing. They do a massive amount of fire damage to both, to everything. To friendlies and foes. Now there's kind of a catch. It's not magic power piercing, it's just a ridiculous amount of damage. So it can't actually, you know, basically, for all intents and purposes, Ultima can do more damage because Ultima is magic power or magic defense piercing, right? However, the really difficult thing is Ultima and Grand Train and Goner, I think, are the 3 examples of things that do what is usually referred to as typeless damage. If you don't know what typeless damage means, it literally, in a gameplay-wise and a strategy-wise, what it basically means is there's no defense against it. It just does damage at the end. There's no way to defend it or block it or anything. It will just it bypasses that aspect of the damage formula. Now, Doomsday and Murton both have the same thing, as Kay just pointed out, because they do a specific type of damage. Doomsday does shadow damage, I think, and Murtaugh does fire damage. Crusader does fire damage as well. So if you have a setup where you have like a flame shield and a paladin shield and 2 other flame shields, which is pretty easy to set up, honestly, it turns from being this massive death machine that hits everything to healing your party for like 6,000 while damaging the enemy for like 6,000. So Murtaugh can actually be basically the best spell in the game as a result of that heal. Because at that point, it's a massive heal and a massive damage all in one spell, right? And you can cast it twice with Gem Box for 1 MP with the economizer, right? Anyways, I think I missed a question there as I was rambling on about Doomsday and Murtaugh. So feel free to re-ask it, please. Yeah, Corypheus was an interesting character. I wish he had more screen time, honestly. Yeah, I'll just scroll back up. Hang on. Ugh. Oh, never mind. He reposted it. Okay, so both, absolutely both. Me and Pax have actually talked about this extensively. He and I both agree that it was not, to put it simply, it was not just EA's fault. That BioWare themselves got too full of themselves, and they got too stuck up with their own, their own reputation, I guess, for lack of a better term. And they're like, yeah, we can do no wrong, basically. And if you look at several, I talked about this during the Mass Effect Marathon, if you look at several of the mistakes in the games, not all of that is caused by EA. Some of this is caused by them just saying, well, no, I'm just going to do this and you can live with it, or I'm going to make this and people will like it. That kind of a mentality. I feel like that's one of the reasons why Inquisition was, in my opinion, a net positive. Hey, Feelgood, Mr. Feelgood. Because Inquisition, the people in charge of making it were like, oh god, we've messed up so badly, we need to make up for that. And that mentality is completely different than, we are BioWare. You know what I mean? Now, it's not to say Inquisition is a perfect game. I actually have several significant concerns about Inquisition. If you'll remember from my pluses and minus system of reviewing that game, it was nowhere near as slanted towards the positive. It was still a net positive, but it just was, yeah, there's a little bit of back and forth there. But, yeah. Oops. That's just my take of it, though. Oh god, more of these guys. Okay, hang on. I was just auto-Aing without even thinking about it. Yeah, you know what, we're just gonna run from these. And first we're gonna get some cure on. Notice they're countering with Fallen One, by the way. Okay. Yeah, no kidding, sure, yeah. And as has been pointed out, several of the problems with Tor were from BioWare, not from EA. I'm not saying all the problems were, but several of them were. This is the other nice thing about the economizer, by the way. It makes healing basically infinite, because it costs virtually nothing to heal. Oh god, Omni, that was so bad. That was just so bad. It's like, guys, really? But again, as much as I am harsh on Mass Effect 3, and I am harsh on Mass Effect 3. See you around, Benoth. Enjoy dinner. I do still have a great deal of sympathy for several of the developers who worked on Mass Effect 3. And as I've said many, many times, there are good parts to Mass Effect 3. Several good parts, even. There were still parts of that were enjoyable, and were definitely positives. And that's awesome, in my opinion. Okay, so I don't think it matters, does it? Who do I want to fight Guardian? This right here, by the way, is another example of what I was talking about with this dungeon getting a plus to game design. This is just cool. This whole switch puzzle kind of a thing, and figuring out who goes where and what, and oh crap, I think... No, I did that right, Good, good. That's exactly what I wanted to do. This is also kind of the... this is another example of good game design, because of the fact that this is a callback. If you'll remember, the first time we ever saw this multiple party thing was all the way back in Narsh, about roughly 13 minutes into the game. And I can say 13 minutes because I've sped-run this game, and that's usually my time at about that section. So, you know, this is, they did it there, they did it in the Narsh war scenario. And then it comes back here, it's like, okay, you've done it there. Now you have to do it, but you have to do it with a few additional niggles. Now you have to do it with the switch puzzles and all that other fun stuff that you have to do it with here. And it's awesome. But I've already given the plus to the gameplay for it. Where's Grand Train? There it is. By the way, Grand Train is supposed to say Grand Delta. They called it Grand Train because the sound effect is the train sound effect. That's actually why Wolseley translated this. You hear that right there? That's actually why they call it that. Damn it. Yeah, Django, I've read all of those, and it's just like, you know, I don't know what else to do at that point. I've done what I can, guys. Leave me alone. But whatever. I'm not going to be artificially positive for a game that does not deserve it. Okay, we're gonna not fight this guy. Scullions have way too much HP and are really irritating to fight. So we're about to begin the boss rush. You know what a boss rush is. They're in like every game ever. That's a lie. They're in many different games, regardless of genre. The Mega Man example is probably the most well-known one. You know, it's time to fight all the... I should probably get a save state in. It's time to fight all of the, you know, the bosses also over that stuff. Now, here's the funny thing about Guardian. Other than the last boss, Guardian actually has the most HP of any enemy in the entire game. The problem with that is he's really, really easy. Seriously, Guardian's attacks are pathetic. I remember back in the day I used to fear Guardian. I was like, oh god, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? But he's pathetic. Yeah, he has 60,000 health, which is a lot, but he doesn't actually have any anything really significant that hurts. He's just, yep, I'm Guardian, and I'm gonna take a while for you to kill. That's it. That's all. Thanks, Grundler. Yeah, exactly, Deacon. This is a very typical, very normal boss fight. I'm actually kind of disappointed by it, because if you remember, this is not the first time we've seen Guardian. In fact, this is the third time we've seen Guardian. And technically fourth, I think? No, it's second and third, is respectively. So yeah, that's why this fight is taking so long, is because I have to mush through all his HP. But again, you notice he's not doing anything to me. However, I like Guardian because in one respect I like him, and it's very simple. He's the only boss in this entire tower that is a tank and spake. He's the only one. And he's right before, and I mean right before a statue fight. The statue fights are a lot different. All three, I like the statue fights from a gameplay perspective. All three of them are designed to be different. They all have completely different strategies and spells and techniques that they use. They all have their own weaknesses and other fun stuff like that. And they're all pretty difficult, all things considered. In fact, as I've said rather infamously before, the only reason I level at all in my 90% speedrun is because of the statue fights. I know how to get around every other boss fight in the entire game with just trickery and skill and unique strategies, but the statue fights are just that much stronger than everything else. In fact, I would argue the statue fights are the hardest fights in this game. So, wait, you can cast Stop on Poltergeist? I didn't actually know that. Is this... Hang on, do I have anyone with stop? Let's check that really quick. I don't have stop learned yet on her. Who teaches stop? I started it. Ah, it's Fenrir. That's why she started it. 10 MP. I could get 10 MP. Sure, why not? Let's check this out. I could get 10 MP really quick. That's not gonna take too long. Whoop, whoop. This is the other good blitz, by the way. It's an AoE air damage, and like I said, virtually nothing in the game is resistant to or absorbs air damage. So it generally just kind of, it's effectively a Pierce's defense attack, even if it's not literally a Pierce's defense attack. So that's 2. Yes and no, Dog Andes. That's actually not why I do it. I've been composing my own music and remixing my own music for years and years and years just because I love music. Basically, if you go back to when Final Fantasy IV came out, that's how long I've been doing it. However long that is at this point in time. The SNES version, if you're curious. But nowadays, every song I put up on my YouTube or play on my playlists during a stream, other than the actual game sound, is going to be one of those varianced or remixed songs, specifically to dodge copyright crap, because I've been hit by copyright crap on YouTube a little bit too many times, and I'm kind of freaking sick of it. So I'm not putting up with it anymore, basically. I'm tired of it. So that's why you'll be hearing varianced and remixed songs at the end of my Ruminations, for example. Damn it, Shadow. This party might actually be able to kill Doom Dragons a little easier than the other one could. I also happen to love music in general. It's what I like to call one of the most important pillars of my life. You know, any of you seen Inside Out? Good movie, by the way. If you've watched Inside Out, you know that there's like the little cities or whatever that are like the core elements of her personality. One of my cities would be music. Has she learned it yet? No. One more friggin'... Well, technically 2 more MP. Damn it, that's gonna kill him. Ah, well. I'm still trying to figure out the tapping method for doing Bum Rush. I don't remember it right now, so I'm trying to remember what it is. Gary, do you remember what it is? Yeah, the tapping method, not the... Oh, that's what I was doing. I was missing the last left. I've been screwing it up this entire time. Because I've been... You are so weird, Nothrism. Inside Out is not a gory movie. It's a Pixar flick. Airblade I had just fine. Yeah, up, right, yeah, bam. And of course, Aura Blade is ridiculous. Down, down, left, or down, left, left. Okay. Okay. Well. Okay, so let's see. Is this Poltergeist? Shoot, I saw. Yeah, okay, this is Poltergeist. So let's see if we can stop this guy, because that's just funny. Ah. What? No, I didn't. You are right. What? I got other games to play, man. Okay, so here we go. Damn right I do. Why wouldn't I? Yep, you're right. Okay, so for anybody who didn't hear him, it's left, left, up, up, right, right, down, down, left. That's Bum Rush. And yeah, that's way easier than trying to do the... Yes, I have seen Big Hero 6. I thought it was good. I'm not sure if I call it great, but it was definitely a very enjoyable movie. I'm hopeful for the sequel, which I'm almost assured they will make, since, I mean, they had the whole comics to draw from there. And I guess that's all I got to say about that. I love the technology thing, the little things they have. That's awesome. Even though they're basically the gray goo, for lack of a better term. This is hilarious. You really can. I never knew you could stop Poltergeist. That is silly. You could just... The 3 statues are the hardest bosses in this whole game, and you could just stop one of them. Now, just stay here for a second, okay? Okay? Just say, okay, thanks, you're dead, you're dead. Yay! Thank you for being cooperative, Poltergeist, or whichever one you are. I think, is that one the one that's Sephiroth? I don't remember which one's which. It's Sophia, Sephiroth, and I forget the other one. Was their original names. Their actual names, whatever you want to call that. Sephiroth is either that one or the one, Doom is the other one. And I don't remember which is which. Whatever, it doesn't matter. So, yes, we all know Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to get frozen. I don't get why Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to get Big Hero 6. That does not make sense for me. I gotta be blunt. You have enough money, Disney. You don't need to put something... Okay, I was just talking about this. How... Damn it. I don't know. Well, she is a Disney princess now. Under the strictest technicalities of the Lorerunner. Hey, Redix. The X's refer to 10 positive points, and the positive point is obvious. I've done this review style several times. If you haven't seen it, then go watch my Dragon Age Inquisition video, for example. Alright, so here we have... this is technically my strongest party, so I'm not even going to do anything. I'm just ready to go. Doom! Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Sephiroth right here. He looks a little different, but that's because Amano drew him here instead of Nomura drawing him here. And now, this is my best party. This is I call this my Gary party because all I have to do is hold down A for everything they do. Here, would you like to co-op here? Hold down A. Oh, come on! Yeah, this is... I'm gonna just destroy Doom. I'm not even gonna bother to heal. Thank you, Kay. So, yeah, there you go. Zervan is the third one. Sophia, Zervan, and Sephiroth. That's the 3 of them. I suppose I should steal, because you can steal some really good equipment from all 3 of these guys, and I really need it. I need that equipment. He also cast Force Field, which is one of the more interesting and useless lores in the game. Goddess casts the actual best lore in the game, in my opinion. I mean, Grand Train is technically better because Grand Train pierces magic defense, but Goddess casts Quasar, which, number 1, just is a cool sounding name for a spell, and number 2, does a ridiculous amount of damage. So, that's cool. Oh, I couldn't steal! Oh, well. Also, as I mentioned earlier, there are 5 times in the entire game this song plays. 1 for Atma, 1 for Omega, and once for each of the 3 statues. It's an awesome song. I just felt like pointing it out. I've already given it a plus to music for that song, so I can't really add anything to that. Fun fact, I only have 3 party members who actually know Ultima right now, because I didn't bother. Not like I need to. I really wish I had all my notes so I could have done the level 20 run of this thing where I defeat everything with rods and throwing. I'm dead serious. You get me in here with Realm, Terra, Celis, and Shadow. We'll just destroy this entire tower with the right setup. That's an awesome speedrun. I actually need to pick up that particular category of speedrunning. It's basically no Vanished Doom, no Ultima, no sketch glitch, and no offering. You know, in other words, specifically hindering you from doing all of the well-known big things. So here we have Sophia. Most people have been like, which one is her? Which I just kind of rolled my eyes at. Where is it? Where is it? You know, screw it. Here, have a sky render to the face. I'll go ahead and morph for this one. Why not? And here's one of my other people. Oh, he doesn't know Ultima. I'm sorry, I have two people who know Ultima. Realm and Setzer. I'll try Ice, sure. Mog is supposed to be one of my other mages. I don't want to throw another sky render. Let's throw some shurikens. I'm not going to waste a attack star on one of the hardest bosses in the game. Also, Javan's almost... God damn it, I forgot she absorbs holy damage. Oh, that's right, he has Ragnarok equipped right now. No Magicite runs, I've done several of those because it's part of the category for an SCC, is that you cannot use Magicite. They're a lot of fun for certain characters. For other characters, they're a lot less fun. Good example of a character that's not very fun to do an SCC as, Cyan. God! So, for those of you who don't know the full rules of an SCC, it's basically innate magic only. So, for example, Terra and Celis can cast the spells they learn naturally, and Strago can cast lores that you learn, and that is basically... Oh, here's Quasar! You get to show it off a bit. This might actually kill me. Well, it won't kill him, yeah, I was going to say. That won't kill Edgar. Yeah, okay. And then you can't obviously you can't equip Magicite even just to give you stat ups, even if you never use the magic thing. No Magicite whatsoever, and you also can't use certain items like, for example, what? Oh, you're right. Yay! Woo! Now I have 3 people have Ultima, and you cannot use like the Merit Award. For those of you who don't know what the Merit Award is, it allows you to equip anything. So, for example, you could have Mog and equip him with Illumina. So, can't do that. And that's the rules of an SEC. And so I highly recommend that. It is a lot of fun. I got into that years and years and years ago, like in 2004, I want to say. And they're tons of fun. Some characters are not well designed for SCCs because they either have too little on-screen time or they suck. Mog is actually a pretty bad SCC. Gao is a terrible SCC because it's just him and all you got is the rages. So sometimes, yes. Other times, I mean, it's just kind of dull. You get all the rages, then you put the controller down every fight. No, you don't. Yeah, Setzer is a terrible SCC, by the way. So is Realm. Setzer's awesome, dude. He looks cool. That's why I like him. And I like his character. That's why. It's not a gameplay thing. Strago's is kind of a difficult one. Celis, Terra, and Locke are easily the easiest ones. Edgar is shortly behind them. Sabin's actually harder than you'd think. Blitzes taper off in usefulness very quickly during when you get to the end game when you're alone. I mean, when you've got Sabin in a group, Bum Rush will just add to the damage and all that fun stuff. When you are alone, he's really, really, really slow, and he has really bad AoEs, and he has a hard time basically keeping up, especially since he has no real effective way to heal himself other than items. So yeah, Sabin's actually a lot harder than you'd think. But anyways, so yeah, it is time for the end game. It is literally time for the last boss, Ziz. This is the second game in the Final Fantasy series to include the multiple last boss concept, if you know what I mean. Every single Final Fantasy game after this has multiple last bosses. Literally all of them. FF5 was actually the first. It had 2 right in a row, X-Death and then Neo-X-Death. That doesn't really count because you never fight Zemus and you never fight the first, the shaky Zeromas. You just use the crystal on them. There's just one actual fight there. Although I will grant you the idea was probably planted there. Because they were like, hey, we could use the scripts to switch enemies, like they did with the 4 Fiends fight in the Giant of Babel. So we can use a script to switch an enemy. So why don't we have multiple enemies at the same time? Oh yeah, and the painting does it here in 6 too. But anyways, this is it. So I've talked about this section 100 billion trillion times. I hesitate to repeat myself. I don't have anything new to share. There is 100 billion things in this scene that are freaking amazing. There's this creepy, nightmarish music where on literally the throne, excuse me, if you look at this, this actually looks like a really, really crude, disgusting throne of debris. Um, I love the little sparkles of just raw magic that are cycling around him. Shadow, I haven't even seen your question. Um, Kefka is awesome. In fact, and literally, I'm going to say this, just for the visual presentation of this scene, we're going to give another plus to the graphics. I am going to give 2 pluses to the music. Both of them are for Dancing Mad. I have explained myself before, but as ever, this is a review, so I kind of need to explain what I mean here. There's a page out there that will do more justice than I have done, explaining the ridiculous amount of thought and effort and intricacy that went into the song Dancing Mad. It is, in addition to the obvious Dante's Inferno references in this fight, the flat reality is that that song is Kefka in his various stages of his character arc. The first, the big epic, yes, I am no Shadow. I am the doom and the destruction and all this fun stuff. But that's still just him playing the part. And then so that descends into the piano, which is him trying to showcase, and then descends into the quiet section of the third, which is him trying to pretend and it's so Kefka. Because he's not actually pretending to be a deity, a god or whatever. He just thinks that's just stupid. The very idea of there being such a thing as a deity, as some kind of god of magic, is as ridiculous and pointless as everything else he's ever encountered. It's still just him mocking the concept. And then the fourth section of Dancing Mad is freaking perfect, because in addition to the fact that it showcases how much Kefka does not give a crap about everything, it, in the quiet little... you know, the lamenting section of the final tier of Dancing Mad, we hear finally the nature of how Kefka has truly and utterly just given up. There is nothing left. There is no point in anything. And remember, Kefka dies in silence. Kefka dies in acceptance, because Kefka has truly come to the final realization that nothing matters. Not even destruction. Remember, Kefka has the power to destroy the world, but he doesn't. Kefka has the power to kill everyone on the entire planet, but he doesn't. Because at this point in time, Kefka has truly realized that even this one thing that has given him some semblance of purpose in his life is also meaningless. And thank you, Shadow, for the link. And I'd just like to reiterate, if not for Gestalt, Kefka would probably have, you know, not turned out this way. Pandemonium, probably X-Death or Akuja. But you said no one-winged angel mode, so I'd go with X-Death in that case. So Terra knows what love is. Locke has learned to celebrate life and the living. Cyan's family lives on inside him. Shadow knows what friendship is and family. Edgar has a dream to build a kingdom in which he can guarantee freedom and dignity. Sabin has come to experience anew the love of his brother. Celis has met someone who would accept her for who she is and what she is. Strago has a wonderful granddaughter, and Realm has a brave grandfather. Setzer has his friend's airship and her love, and Javan has all of his friends as well. And of course, Gauss is the best. Me, wow, all of you. Now this is probably really, really Kefka, because they all come to Kefka and they all tell him this. And you notice he thinks about it for a moment. And then he retaliates, and it stops. This is so perfect. This is why Kefka is different from like every other villain ever. Don't tell me that Joker crap, okay? There's similarities between Joker and Kefka, but this is just so Kefka. You're all like, oh god, we have found all these wonderful things, and you know, we've all found all these human connections, and blah blah blah. And Kefka, who is, as I've mentioned, utterly and completely alone. Yes, Shadow, technically, possibly, theoretically. I guess that's the best way to put that. You don't know is the real answer. And Kefka's response is to cut the music so it stops trying to be this epic, terrifying, frightening place of doom, and it just is replaced with Kefka's theme. And he's like, this is just stupid! Why am I even listening to this? And then he shows up. This is actually the first time we really get to see Light of Judgment in action. Cool effect. Very cool. And just for the hell of it, he starts destroying his own tower because it's not like it matters. So Kefka's tower is on fire now. By the way, it's often been theorized that this tower he's actually standing on right here is actually the three statue bosses. I'd just also like to say that this section would look really, really cool in full 3D awesome. But at this point, Kefka's literally going on momentum. He's just repeating the things he's already said. At this point in time, Kefka's mind is made up. None of this, and I mean none of this actually matters. Also, my friend Vincent used to make fun, because each time he attacks with the Light of Judgment, he deliberately hits nothing. Well, I shouldn't say deliberately, but he hits nothing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use the boring party here. Of him, and him, and... Nah, screw it. We'll just use the really boring party. Javan, and then everyone else doesn't matter. We can just go down the list. Oh, god darn it. Okay, hang on. Screw that up. Brains. There we go. There we go. Ham. There we go. I've already mentioned how awesome Dancing Mad is, so I don't really have anything to add there. It's awesome. We're going to be ultimate spamming, because of course we are. It's okay, Javan knows Ultima now, so he is now allowed in the Cool Kids Club. These fights are weird, because they're relatively easy, as long as you're paying any kind of attention at all. Like, it is very easy to counteract and bypass basically everything these guys can do to you. So again, you just have to be paying attention. You just have to be like, okay, being on your heels and one. For example, the fact that I just let Setzer die is something that I'm going to have to make up for, but I can do that. Maybe. If I don't, then I have just lost my economizer and gem box. So we'll see if I can get that fix that problem. For those of you not aware, this is actually multiple encounters each fight. There's 3 here and like 5, I want to say, on the next one. And then 2 on the third one, and then just 1 at the last one, which is just Kefka. Hands up, by the way, how many of you out there really, really like this song? I am, by the way, raising my hand right now because hell yes. Quake! Yeah, each of them has a when I die attack. In other words, when I die, do this. Oh, don't hit Realm. Okay, good. Don't hit Realm. Don't... shoot. Well, we just lost Javan. Bye, Javan. And no trace of him was ever found. So yeah, this is the reminiscent of FF5 X-Death, Neo X-Death version. So this is actually kind of good because I get to show off what happens when someone dies. They get replaced. You don't actually have the ability to swap them in and out because, well, because frankly they didn't have the technology to do that yet. That wouldn't come around until FF10, I want to say. But you do get the ability to swap them in and out if they die, and you succeed to move forward a step. Oh wow, Edgar has a lot of spells. I think we'll leave Edgar on pause for now. Don't want to waste his turns. just thought of something. Do I have? Yes, I do. Come on. Come on. Have a weapon. Well, as I've said before, FF6 was the first game where they had the new mentality when it came to last bosses, and making last bosses easier than they'd been doing previous to now. For anybody who's not heard me explain that... Oh no, they muted frickin' Terra. For anybody who's not heard me explain that, the idea was they wanted... they wanted more of the content to be accessible to more of the players, and so as it has kind of become a problem in the time, a lot of players would hit the last boss and just run into a brick wall, at least from what they understood. I don't know if this is actually true or not, but you know, Zeromus was actually pretty hard. The Cloud of Darkness was pretty hard. Exdeath was damned hard, you know, etc., etc. So they decided with this new mentality, since pretty recently to this, in fact, FF4 technically started the trend, they had come up with the concept of the super optional. So they make the super optional the thing that's actually really, really hard, and so the people who actually want the difficulty and the challenge could go fight the super optional, and then everyone could go fight the last boss, which was made a little bit easier, specifically so that it would, you know, more people could see the ending and beat the game. And if you notice, every last boss in the FF series from this point on is much, much easier. And there's usually, well, there's not usually, there is always going to be a super optional from this point on where the actual difficulty resides. I just like to say the way they managed to string the music together here in code is brilliant and awesome. There, get your cure on there. Come on. Yeah, anyway, so in response to Little Billy, what we are fighting here is basically an amalgamation of what's left of the three spirits of the Magi, combined with the debris, detritus, and otherwise gunk of the statue, combined with whatever happened to be in the area. You know, creatures, monsters, people, it doesn't really matter. Big old mess, basically. It has been implied that several of the people on here are actually some of the souls of Espers as well. We don't actually know if that's true or not. And as Kay points out, and this is worth pointing out, we are effectively fighting the power of Kefka, not Kefka himself. Because Kefka himself, well, we'll see what he's like. Oh no, don't die, Terra! Oh, wow, she didn't die. Frickin' Ozma. We're never going to talk about Ozma again. And Terra's dead. Yeah, whatever. I was kind of ready for that one, too. Terra has failed us. So yeah, this, again, is the final irony. Kefka comes down as if he is some kind of great deity, god of magic. But even he doesn't believe that. He is, again, just playing the part. And this is the final moment in which masks comes in FF6, the theme of having masks on, as Kefka himself is the final person who actually has a mask. The mask that he is this great, powerful, epic, amazing creature with the god of magic. And all of that is just a damned joke. And even he doesn't believe in it, like I said. Just to show it off, we're going to steal from him. Mega Elixir? Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Oh well, whatever. That'll do, little donkey. I suppose. If I'm not mistaken, there's only like 5 Mega Elixirs you can get in this entire thing. Oh, he's about to cast Goner, also known as Forsaken. Technically, Goner / Forsaken is the strongest spell in the game. I say technically, though, because Ultima is actually stronger. and I know I've said this a few times, but it's because of that magic piercing, magic defense piercing thing. But the spell with the highest magic attack power in the game is Forsaken, aka Goner, aka what he's about to be casting, assuming he lives long enough to do so. I may not give him that chance. I do agree, Pandemonium, personally. And Kefka is dead. And as the laughing clown who wore the mask of the clown, who wore the mask of the psychopath, who wore the mask of the god of magic finally dies, he dies as a man and says nothing. I personally really like the idea that he's not smiling as he dies, but he is at peace, because now he doesn't have to think about any of this ever again. It is finally over, just like it always should have been. And again, in full 3D awesome, I would still have him literally disintegrate like that. Not, you know, fade away or whatever. Disintegrate. And again, peaceful, calm face for, I would say, the only time in the entire game. So Terra pops Morph, and it's time to get the hell out of here. Now this is interesting. I've heard two different theories about what exactly is happening here. The most obvious one, and the one that I hear most often, is the Magicite is going back to the Esper Realm. But if you remember, the Esper Realm is gone. It's been merged into this realm. Now with the focal point of all magic gone, the Magi, and in this case Kefka, who had overcome and become the new focal point, magic itself is going away. But where is it going away to? Again, there's really two theories I've heard. Either it is going back to some kind of magical, you know, either afterlife or other realm or whatever, we don't know. Or they're just going away, period. As in, they are ceasing to exist. And the more I've thought about it, the more I think the latter is actually more logical. It adds some more strength to the scene to emphasize why it is Terra needs to stay here. It adds some more tragedy to the possibility that Terra was willing to cease to exist to do this. And it also means that all these Espers have finally fully died. Gone away, period, completely, and never to return. So yes, magic is, as Javan just put it rather nicely, just plain gone. This has been called one of the best gaming endings in the history of gaming. I find that hard to disagree with. It is many things that an ending should be. Each character gets a little scene. Each of these scenes has to do with their character arcs and their development throughout the course of the game, in addition to showcasing that they don't just suddenly win, they still have to escape from the last dungeon. So Scions, of course, is him finally overcoming his fear of the new, embracing the new in a symbolic reference of him controlling the machine and finally, you know, becoming more comfortable with technology. Right? Setzer's is him finally fully 100% abandoning the mask of him being the irreverent gambler who doesn't care about anything and accepting that every now and again you just kind of have to make a decision. In other words, he flips the coin, he's like, hang on, no, let's go this way. And just to really add to the irony of the scene, that turned out to be the correct way to go, the way he picked. And that's true, the ending of FF6 is very definitive. There is, in my opinion, zero room for a sequel to this game. I know several other people have disagreed with this, and some people have given some reasoning for that, basically that, you know, a sequel could happen like a millennia from here. But in my opinion, FF6 ends so definitively and so conclusively that really they should not have to do a sequel to this. Ever. This is the end of this story. Prequel, that's a different matter, but yeah. Probably. The lol whoop. Whoop. Sabin here admits that he had done all of these things with all his training and all his work specifically so that he could fight on behalf of his brother, his kingdom, his people. And of course, Edgar, Edgar's character arc is basically already ended. Now we have Javin's character arc. Now, Javin's character arc is very, very important. Javin's character arc is that he really, really has to work on his hair. I mean, you gotta imagine the amount of product that's in his hair to make it as fluffy and cute as it is. I'm kidding. There is no character arc here, in a rather amusing and appropriate aspect for a character who is a C-list character and has basically no character arc. He doesn't really have any character arc here to speak of. It's just Mog being cute and awesome. However, there's nothing wrong with that. Again, it is nice to have the funny light moments that the old FFs had, and indeed, some of the new FFs are lacking. And then Umaro's character arc is, of course, best described as smashing through the terrain. You know, considering I didn't get all the Espers, I imagine there's still some Magicite that's just hanging out in the auction house right now. That's like, huh? Wait a minute, and then it just vanishes, and the people at the auction house are like, oh no, we've been robbed! So yeah, that's Umaro's character arc in a nutshell. And then, of course, Gogo. I gotta admit, I love the design of that helmet. Gogo, also known as Daryl, or Golbez, or God knows who else. I've heard of so many theories of who Gogo actually is. I stand by my theory that it is, in fact, Gogo. Oh yeah, here's one of the other pieces of evidence people point to that Gogo is female. Gogo specifically mimes Celis, who is female, so, you know. No! I hope they got him, her, it out of there at some point. Now, Gao has had a character arc, and it's basically about acceptance of who and what he is, and the realization that he did, in fact, have a family. I do feel that that comes out in this one, because Gao's idea here is basically, we need to get out of here, and he's intelligent and cunning, as I've already pointed out. He's very observant. And so Gao is actually capable of coming up with this shortcut in order to get them the hell out of here quicker, because he wants to help. He wants to help his family. He wants to be contributing. So he flings Celis onto a rock that goes down the tower. Yeah, I don't know, okay. Oh, now this scene... Damn. I don't even know what to add to this scene. This is just one of the best scenes in the game right here. It even is timed to go with the music. Note that what she drops is the bandana that had given her hope back at the island. So it's no wonder she went back to get it, but... And for the first time, Locke actually keeps his promise. So, like I said, I think that magic goes away, period. They're not going back to some other realm. They're not going back to, you know, paradise or whatever. They're going away. So this is her saying goodbye to Meduan forever. But what I like about this is Meduan's last words to her are to try and save her, to keep her human, to maintain the human half of her, so that she can save her. And giving her that information shows that because up until this point in time, right here, I firmly believe that Terra was completely committed to the idea of just vanishing in order to save her friends, in order to save the world. And now she has a reason, or excuse me, now she has an understanding of the fact that she doesn't have to, that she might actually be able to live. And we already know Terra has completed her character arc, because she already has something to hold on to. Or families. This scene is pretty different if you have Realm and not Strago, by the way. I like how Realm keeps threatening people with, I'm gonna paint your portrait. I don't know, Noel. We don't know, really. It is pure speculation, which is why I can only give my theories on it. This is probably my favorite of the various little animations here. He hits it so fast and so accurately that it's just, yeah, that's very Shadow. I know everyone in the world disagrees with me on this, but I'm just going to state my opinion on this. This is Shadow having fully and finally realized the completion of his character arc. In other words, he has decided that he is going to stop running, as he has been running for so long. The cowardice that has been such a defining trait of Clyde for so long. And so he decides to stay here and stop running, rather than, you know, yeah. And the shaking right there is why I say it is very clear to me that Shadow does die there. Specifically, the shaking is what really makes me think that, rather than him trying to escape in his own way or whatever. I will admit, in the interest of fairness, it is possible that he splits from the party to escape, takes the mask off, and tries to live his life again. Probably with his daughter, because we know for a fact he cares very much about his daughter. This is also Strago having completed his character arc. In other words, he is no longer resigned to his fate as the retired adventurer, but he's like, no, I can still do stuff, I'm still awesome. Again, the Cid or Galuth parallel. And you. No, not me. You. Oh, absolutely, Kay. He's a very popular character, so of course they would do that. So now, it's like, well, shoot. We need to run now. One of the things I've always thought about this, they're not really clear on this, but I've always believed that Kefka's Tower actually literally explodes, like basically like an atom bomb, with all of that mess and energy and power and magic and just the debris just, which is why they're in such a damn hurry to get the hell out of Dodge. And why there's this little flash of light and doom and all that fun stuff in a second. And then Terra dies, by the way. Spoiler alert. No, I kid. I also like that the last line of the entire game is the line Setzer gives about this being the fastest airship in the world. I already talked about that, though. This line's kind of dumb in the English translation. Do it right, Katarin. Or Katarin, or however you're supposed to pronounce that name. Do it right. I'm having a baby! Yeah, do it right. I've personally believed Javan, she was literally showcasing the way out. In other words, again, in full 3D awesome or whatever, the idea that Terra is literally guiding the airship through the debris and the terrain and the maze of this mountain that is Kefka's Tower, and making her way out. And therefore, that's why she goes out to do it. So while this plays out, let me think about this here. I think, hey Bregman, I think the last battle and the tiering system and the multiple party things, that gets a plus to gameplay, definitely. I already gave the pluses to the music for the last boss, or the last thing. What they do with this ending is great graphically and musically. That gets a plus to both of these. They do some really fun Mode 7 stuff and showcase the airship going across the world. All sorts of awesome stuff like that. Let's talk about story. First of all, the finale of Kefka's story. The way the ending fulfills every single character's arc, the way the world is not actually fixed, but is instead saved so that everyone can actually be improved from now on. Again, as I said before, there's no Hail Mary. We don't snap our fingers and the world is better. We have to actually work at making it better, which is one of the big themes of FF6, you know, moving on, living with what we have. So that's another plus. And I think that's all the pluses I can give without just being completely biased. Ergo, the final score of this game is graphics plus 22, music and sound plus 23, gameplay plus 26, and story plus 35. And I stand by every single one of those pluses, and the minuses, which you're not really seeing because they were completely overwhelmed. Yeah, I think this game still stands up to this day, and has been an absolute treat to replay through with you guys. I have played this many times before. On stream. I did a lore run before I even had the term lore run of this game. The first lore run I ever did was actually FF6, and it was just me playing through it and talking about it. And then, you know, later on I came up with the very concepted idea and format of doing a lore run. Then I did it for the marathon, you know, a full lore run for the marathon. And I've streamed it for speedruns. I've streamed it for full speedruns, you know, my 12-hour runs. I've streamed it for the Kefka runs, races, and I've streamed it for this thing. So yeah, I'd have to say that, yep, I probably like this game a little bit. But give me some credit, I did something different this time. Now for the best game ever. Superman! No, there's a final scene here I'm kind of waiting to show up. Basically, there's this really cool thing where they showcase the fact that there is at least hope that things are going to get better because hope has been fulfilled. You know? Thank you, Shadow, for the vote of confidence, so to speak. Fastest airship in the world. Don't forget, it's actually the first airship in the world. Or excuse me, the only airship in the world. It's also the first. But yeah. But yeah, exactly, Bregman. Like I said, the world is not fixed. But now that Kefka is gone, and again, I pointed this out, once Kefka goes away, once that problem goes away, that's when those seeds begin to sprout. That's when new plant life begins to grow. That's when the ecosystem starts to repair itself, etc., etc. By the way, yes, that was Miyamoto, who was just thanked there. I forget if that's the one or the other one, because it's there are several people named, you know, Miyamoto in Japan. But somewhere in the credits, they do actually give thanks to Miyamoto, the guy from Nintendo, because he didn't do much for this, but he was supportive of the endeavor. And back in the day, SquareSoft and Nintendo were actually pretty tight. The two did a lot of work together and shared ideas and development time, and you know, sometimes the people who worked at Nintendo, the developers specifically, not the corporate side. See, there's another Miyamoto. The developers of Nintendo would meet or have dinner or lunch or whatever with the developers at SquareSoft, and the two would just collaborate. I'd just like to say that while there are, you know, it's certainly a different era and things have changed, I kind of miss that atmosphere of just working together to make something awesome, you know? Now, I am going to go clean up a bit, get some lunch ready, that kind of a thing. I will be playing Chrono Trigger today, just to make that clear. So enjoy the rest of the ending, guys.